Hi, my name is Jessica Hagaman, and I'm an instructor here in online graduate programs, specifically the Special Education Master and the Behavior Intervention Specialist Endorsement. I'll start by just sharing a little bit about my professional journey and background. I started as getting my elementary education undergraduate degree. So I was an elementary school teacher and found that I was increasingly interested in students with learning differences, who struggled with learning, and students with disabilities. I ended up having a lot of why questions that led to how questions. I had questions about why would they do that, and why was that difficult for them, and how could I do this differently, and how can I include more students in my classroom in effective ways, and what are the best practices in inclusive education, and what are disabilities and why do they happen? And so I ended up getting a master's degree in special education, and then I liked that so much that I kept going and got a PhD in special education and found an area of interest that then became an area of expertise, and that was related to executive functions and self-regulation. So things like self-control and self-awareness and self-monitoring and setting goals, and the important role that all of those things actually play in being a successful person. And for our students, then how do you actually teach all of those skills that become really important so that our students, alongside learning academics, about appropriate behavior responses, about social skills and things that we learn in school, we're also supporting the development of executive functions and self-regulation so that our students leave school and they can do whatever it is that they want to do in their journey. The courses that I teach here at Midland are evidence-based practice courses for students with disabilities. So if you'll be a teacher working with students with disabilities, how do you make sure you're selecting practices and interventions that are evidence-based, that we know to be effective and appropriate? Effective collaboration and leadership to support the development of and encouragement of inclusive practices and inclusive learning environments, so inclusive practices. And in all of my courses, I really try to make sure that everything is very practical, very usable, so that you're leaving every class, hopefully even every week or module, with something that can be immediately used, or a resource that, you know, if you're not going to immediately use it, you put it kind of in your tool belt or in your toolbox as a professional, and you know it's there for you, so that you have something that is really tangible and usable and based on your interests, your students, your caseload, maybe things that you've experienced. And I encourage you to always apply anything that it is that we're learning about to your actual students, to your caseload, to what it is that you're doing, and then also to learn from peers in the class. So opportunities to hear from people who are in different districts or who work in a different role, and they can provide different viewpoints to maybe a problem that you've experienced or are currently experiencing, and you can learn from and with each other. One of the things that I really like about the opportunities at Midland, the first is that the programs are online, and that means that you can take them at your own pace. So coursework can happen when you have time available, and that means that you can decide to go back to school or continue your education or learn something you want to learn without making the choice between you have to be a student, and that means leaving a busy school day and then going straight to class, or you have to choose between, you know, being a friend or a parent or a family member and having hobbies and taking vacations and going to school. You can still do all of those things and go to school because of the flexibility of the online environment that we've developed here. The other thing I really like is you're having the opportunity to learn from and with experts no matter where you are physically located, but also in your educational journey. So there are opportunities when you're ready to add additional endorsement or licensure to an existing teaching license, to add another area of expertise, to get a master's degree, and if and when you're ready, to get a doctorate degree. And you'll still be learning from and with experts who have been where you are. You'll be in small class sizes, so you get the opportunity to learn from and with peers and have frequent opportunities to interact with them. You get individualized feedback from professors and instructors and people all along the way that are really interested in making sure that you are getting what it is you want to get out of these learning experiences so that you can achieve what you're hoping to achieve on your journey.